And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off the last time in Shadow Empire, Oceania DLC on our Normal Gaia world start. We're on turns 224 and plus, basically. At this point, we are starting to move towards a degree of victory. Now that we've sort of solved our logistical issues, we are able to start fixing some of the problems with our cities. We are very soon, I suspect, going to unify with Lime Top here, which is going to give us almost 167,500 people, which should cause our score to jump up quite a bit. We do have an opportunity over here to get a bunch of land against what should technically be inferior enemies in the form of these nomad troops. So I'm now saying we should actually pave this road, so let's pave this road. What I'm thinking about. So with that, we should move quite a good distance towards victory. And we'll see if we can sort of poach population off of the other players while we're doing that. We should be pretty much at the end of the turn. Let's check. Did we... We probably did roll unification for the turn. We did. Okay, so we've got surplus political power. There's a couple different things we could do with that. What we are going to do with it, I'm not 100% sure. Pretty sure Victory Pact is only available with one of them. They're not currently willing to do it, but they're plausible to do it too. And the other three aren't plausible. We should have freedom of movement with all four of them at this point. And that's a alien miner. That's an alien miner. At this point, I'm actually less interested in maybe doing scientific cooperation with them than versus what I would have been earlier in the game. Nation-wise, could do bureaucratic pushes. Could roll... No, we don't have quite enough for Mission Impossible. I suppose I could save up for Mission Impossible so we can get a little more of the Fate cards deployed. I'm not sure if we actually have any particularly good ones to play at this point, so maybe not even worry about that. Yeah, I might pass on that. We don't have any really great ones. Don't need any more industrial capacity. Housing construction looking before we go ahead and end this turn. Finished a university and a vidcom in Collins. Quetzalcoatl is the capital, proceeding at full speed. Everything else is a little bit delayed due to probably hiring. My guess would be correct. Yeah, hiring issues. We may take a little bit more of a proactive stance at trying to fix those hiring issues as we go on. In the hopes that we can get the civilization score up in these places, which in and of itself should help with the hiring issues. So before we go ahead and end turn, let's call it this guy.
Yes, sir.
Right now this is maybe not going to help with transporting the metal, but what we're going to try to do is we're going to try, because this is our biggest city.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to fix some of our smaller cities to help with growth. So we're going to get them to try to give us some colonists to fix worker problems in our smaller cities so we can get their civilization score up quicker. But yeah, my goal right now is to try to get the civilization score up in all our zones to at least like 50-something, hopefully. See if that starts to do what I want to do. So I can give some money to the populace as well to buff their happiness.
Order received.
Because the happier the zone is, the easier is it going to be to get workers to sign up to fix the problems that we're having with them migrating away from the zones. So now let's go ahead and cycle the turn. Actually, I will do the bureaucratic push.
Order received.
Some more BP.
Order received. Order received.
So as far as the podium positions go, I think we're currently in second I did click on it a little bit earlier in the video, so if you want to, you can always rewind back to it. Hello, Twitch viewer. Yep, I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I think we stand a good chance to potentially get this into a winning state by the end of this stream. We'll see. I suppose technically we are still recovering from the fact that a couple streams ago I did not realize that the default logistical orders on the SHQ set it up so that you don't transfer supplies from zone to SHQ via trading routes or the MTH routes and the air bridging, which is meaning we're basically trying to very rapidly catch up on trying to transfer all our metal here. So another 2.4 thousand metal has been delivered to the SHQ, reducing the stockpile to 7,700. So yeah, we're transporting basically 6 turns of metal over a turn, which would have been better if it had been arriving in a sixth of the time, or at 6 times the time, but quicker basically and earlier.
Order received. Roger that.
Okay, pretty boring decisions for the turn. Let's check up on the construction. Deep core gas extractor is done, so we're going to have another supply of gas coming in. Dionysus Ocean. And yeah, so responding to your question, yeah, it was a bit rough there because I just didn't understand. But yeah, now we've hopefully overbuilt the logistics for the inter-island transport. So as long as I don't accidentally let the maritime contracts expire, I think, and they're about to expire, so I should probably. I think I just thought to check on them. As long as we don't let these expire, let's quickly. Whoops, that wasn't what I meant to do. Let's see if I can get some money to fix that. Might actually be worth selling machines at this point. Okay, let's see if we can use that to fix our contracts. Contract you 10 rounds and 10 rounds. Okay, so what I want is exit my console, which I clicked. Okay. That to make sure we don't run out of logistics. Okay, keep them from coming ashore if we can. Ocean is looking good, so. And the Dionysus Ocean has finished 3 of their 4 buildings that they were working on. So again, if I can keep them hiring, their civilization score and quality of life should go up. It's going up here. Okay, they don't like the corporate domination, so I suppose I could actually probably do a breakup there. Reduce the corporate domination. Otherwise, everything else is stable. Yeah, they're now appreciating the fact that I'm overpaying them, which is offsetting the zone quality of life. Okay, good to see. Still working a little on this one. This one's running a little bit slower because it hasn't finished its level 1 zones components yet. Okay, and this one should be good once that barracks is done. Ultimoth is the one down the end. Okay, so Dionysus Ocean. So we're waiting on Dionysus Ocean Barracks, Collins Barracks. Okay, so we got 3 barracks that were mainly going to be the ones that are going to be the delaying factor on trying to get these up to 100. Over here, we haven't started. It probably is time to start moving on improving this one as well. The things holding it back here are security and education, so let's build up the security and education. So university is education. And barracks is security. Oh, and you're basically the same as that zone. Probably want entertainment as well. So government,
Roger that.
university of education,
Roger
barracks, and entertainment is VidCom.
that. Roger that.
Try. We want all three of them here, apparently.
Roger that. Roger that. Roger that. Roger that.
Okay. You're 34, you're 43. I think we should let what we just queued up to build, work on it, so be worked on for a bit. We did last turn request for some colonists to be generated. A grand total of, well, 1,000 was produced as requested. 0 of them were shipped. Okay. Probably due to the massive amount of metal being moved. Alright, let's, seeing that purple mining reminding me to double check to make sure any of our mines are not empty. Moncrun's petrol well is empty, so let's go to Moncrun. Strat card on Moncrun for the peripheral mining. Peripheral mining, make sure it is targeting Moncrun, yep.
Affirmative.
So next turn we'll get a chance to roll to improve that mine. Let's dump some private investment into the zones we're not currently building up government buildings in. See if we can get them to build up some civilian infrastructure in our stead. And that's our political power. So again, we're not actually at war with the nomads yet. Don't think I necessarily have too many more spare guys. Could ship more guys over. Actually, probably the thing would be to ship over the professional guys. Let's cycle in the turn. Let's see how the construction works after the changes we just made. Oh, I forgot to attempt the unification roll. I used all the political power, so it wasn't available with everything I did, but the unification is basically just RNG rolling. I think it's about a 50-50 chance of success. So for flipping the coin, we gotta flip the coin until we get the proverbial heads, which may take a while or maybe really quick. And it's usually around about when I'm like, it's not gonna happen, then it happens. It's my experience with the unifications. Come back around to us. We got 2 decisions, so it's going to be a fairly boring from a decision standpoint turn. Give a subsidy, no.
Order received.
And this was the peripheral mining that we requested on the last turn. So obviously we're going to expand the empty mine so it can go back to mining.
Affirmative.
Get another 8,000 oil in that mine. And it should be expandable one more time, I suspect. You can't expand a mine if the mine is size 1. accessibility one, because the malice for expanding a deposit... No, that's a farm, so we can't see. The malice for expanding a deposit is you lose accessibility, so if you can't lose an accessibility, then the mine is empty. That's effectively how it goes. Let's do that unification roll before I forget again. Unification on you.
Roger that.
There we go, and they accept it. So next turn we'll get to see how much that has affected our victory score. There we go, plopped a road connection into their zone. It's given us a bunch of militia. Let's make sure we protect as much of the territory to random fish landings as possible. Is the more important stuff. Doesn't need to be a perfect coverage. But at the same time, I don't necessarily need everyone piled on in the capital, so we'll spread out a little bit. The North Shore is a lot more protected than the South Shore, which I think is fine. Alright, let's check up on construction. So, looks like everything... Well, so, Zolnbum, our expand to the southeastern island. The building that we did there proceeded at speed, which is good to see. A lot of our other constructions, because they're like places like Ripple Point and Fultonmouth, are not running at speed, so they're being a little bit delayed. Due to, again, worker shortages. We're having worker shortages in the places that don't have great quality of life. But the worker happiness is improving, which is improving the rate of recruiting population into the workforce. And discouraging them from quitting. That's maybe the other way to think about it. That was the other potential problem. Didn't get any of the colonists yet. Probably because we're still rapidly transferring over metal. So another 1.6 thousand metal got transported along the trade route. I did stop the air bridge, so I could technically re-enable the air bridge to get a little more supplies. It looks like the only thing we're potentially having a problem with is power. Getting warnings about power. Well, I'm saying getting warnings about power. Where power is going down, but the stockpile's higher than current state, so it is probably something we want to build. Continue to build up power. That power plant's full. Capital is one of the better places to build power plants, so okay, let's level that one up.
Order received.
We do have a decent amount of petrol coming in, so would it make sense to actually set a power plant up? It would by itself consume the entire petrol reserve, or entire petrol production, and run it from basically positive green to negative green. But I think it's still probably, because it is 500 power, it's still probably worth it. Let's build a power plant. We'll have to set it to 50% to not have it eat all our petrol. But one thing we can do is we can just build up the petrol capacity. If that's a potential problem that we're worried about. Could build up the biofuel refinery. Or the deep core extractor. Yeah, let's just build up the deep core extractor.
Received.
So we'll burn the petrol supply down until the deep core extractor completes. Because yeah, the current one's producing 232. When it's done, I think it just over doubles it. Yeah, just over doubles it. So it should, well actually, what, that's a quadruple? Expected to quadruple it. So you can see this planet has a lot of bonuses to giving us more petrol, apparently. Not going to check the math on that. But yeah, so there's a decent possibility that once that's upgraded, we'll make making enough petrol to run that power plant. So yeah, we'll be running a petrol deficit in the meantime, but once that's constructed, should be good. Mining. Shouldn't be anything at 0 because we just upgraded something. Yeah, getting a little close with our rare metals. So we're probably about to run out of surface mining of rare metals, so we'll have to be a little careful with that. And we'll check back up on this on next turn. This isn't showing the population from the new zone. And I don't think I can play anything on the new zone yet. Because otherwise that would be a good target for... Oh no, it will allow me to play private investment there, so we will. Dump some credits into that economy. And we'll roll the turnover. Not necessarily expecting to see anything interested on these end turns. Not really anyone we're hostile with that we actually share a border with. Round 227, we have 5 decisions awaiting us. Getting some hidden treasuries around Lime Top. Some Maritime battle stuff. Foreign Affairs Counselor. At this point, we probably do want to favor the major diplomacy quite a bit.
Roger that.
Have we upgraded the MG in a while? Yeah, we're still running the original MG. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. At some point, we will want MG in our
Affirmative.
main armies. And even if we don't have any practice developing our current thing. Okay, so we'll go yes, all is well. You want to upgrade Lime Top, level 1 to level 2 zone. We probably do want to do that. Yeah, we do want to do that. We don't accept that. They'll probably want their health expanded, but otherwise everything else is already ready for level 2. So definitely expand to level 2. Give them a little bit of budget, give them a worker salary, give them the recruit sign-up bonus, even though they're not going to necessarily sign up right away. This, again, is one of the bigger cities, so I'm actually going to request that we get some colonists from here. Allow emergency food, regular zone, supply units before regular supply, and hit confirm. And the supplies are fine, so we're good to go. Now look at the victory score. It should be reflecting the new added territory. Okay, we're now up to 30%, 30.4% victory score. We have the most population. Our planet's letting us down a little bit, but we are in second planet. Not quite in the range where we could do a victory pact to claim a victory. But we are definitely in a position where we are blocking the other guy from winning. Right, so no situation where we lose unless we go to war and have a very bad war. But we still got a little bit of a difficult path to a victory at this point. Let's look at the construction report. What's done? Collins finished its barracks, so if we can get hiring complete there, that should fix the quality of life for the zone. And it is hiring about 600 workers a turn, which don't necessarily know how short we are on workers. Okay, we can see if we check on this tab. This is good to see. So we're about 1,300 worker jobs short in Collins at the moment. And that's actually only like 2 or 3 turns of recruiting there, so that's not too bad. Slight delays on the hospital and barracks here, over in this zone. And we may want to come back around and do another pass on you. Right now I think all 4 upgrades here should be enough to bring it up to about 66 quality life, which is probably what we want for the first pass. And we're not having, well, apparently we may have been having some population hiring issues, but hadn't necessarily kicked in too badly. Moncrun only ran a half a turn construction on the things we queued up. Tell me why? So it failed it was supposed to be like a 91% productivity, and it bound rolled. Okay. Ripple Point barely moved at all. What are you having problems with? Looks like metal delivery issues. Yeah, metal delivery issues. So all the metal that was coming over here got redirected over to Moncrun. Capital products are all proceeding at speed, except for the deep core gas extractor, which got delayed by half a turn. Again, bad roll on a 6% protection penalty. Okay, so nothing really to do anything about there. Oh, yeah. So both the high-tech things got delayed a little bit. That's annoying, but fine. Faultmouth is still running slow because of worker issues. If we had colonists, we could throw some colonists at the problem. And the only thing you're working on is barracks. You've got the same sort of problem that Collins does. Just a little bit worse, I think. Yeah, you've got like 6,000 workers short. Okay. So if we can get colonists going, we can start throwing colonists at this problem, and we'll solve those problems pretty quickly, I think. Okay. We're having a little bit of potential power problem. Hopefully the power expansions will come online before that actually becomes a problem. We'll run out of power at the current rate in 3 turns. But the power plant will come online in 2. There's no delays. And the power plant will provide 500 power, so that should be more than enough for provide power. Did we queue up anything here? Government-wise? No. Okay. This is level 3 zone. It probably does want education, security, and entertainment. So let's queue that up. So everything but health. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then you're a fairly big city. We may want to improve you as well. Looks like we can probably get away with just starting with security and education.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was that an oil power plant or nuclear? Oil. So we're going to have a little bit of a fun... Well, I was about to say we're going to have a little bit of a fun time. Apparently we're getting more oil in, so we're not going to have a fun time. I was a little bit worried that we were going to run out of oil, which is why we queued up the deep core extractor to generate more oil. But yeah, it's a standard oil power plant, going up to level 1. Should provide 500 energy at the cost of 500 fuel. We also have a solar power plant over here being expanded. We're reasonably Now we'll hold off a bit. Play some private investments on the bigger zones. Try to get some credits coming into the civilian sector and expand those zones for us. And let's give some money to the population to get recruiting to go better at these zones.
Order received.
Where we're having worker population issues. So that should help a little bit with recruiting, getting the worker happiness up. And yeah, we can see the civilization's lagging behind quality of life. Quality of life in the zone's up to 50. So it might have been a little bit aggressive throwing more happiness at the population, but at least in columns here, columns should be fixed in 2 turns probably after it hires up. Maybe 3. Depends if it can get 600 each turn or if it can get 700 one turn. If it gets 700 one turn, it'll be 2 turns. And yeah, we'll see if we can get migration into our territory to start expanding. If not, we'll track to see if we're continuing to get the industry going up. I might swap over to upgrading the army units and then redeploy some to deal with the nomads. Just to quickly take over this hunk of land up here. The new model infantry should be able to make quick work of that. And I think probably the easiest way to win the game right now is probably just to leech via getting high city quality population migration from the other 4 majors. Which is why I'm spending so little time actually even caring about the military aid, because the easiest solution to the military problem is to not do military. As weird as that may sound. We have 9 decisions. Das Cargo declares force majeure on 1 or more contracts due to loss of season. Okay. And we researched our high-tech industry and battle dress. So now that we've got high-tech, tech do I want to work towards? Might be tempting to do urbanization while we're waiting for the worldization text over here. In Eco? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Surprisation allows us to turn basically water into power. It's a high-tech building that does that. And we got lots of water, so other than the fact that it costs high-tech parts to build, it's a pretty good source of power for us. Besides that, we could do volcanic energy tapping, but yeah, let's do urbanization. Volcanic tapping would be a little bit more complicated because I think we only have one volcano, so we'd have to set it up on this volcano. That we are closer to that one being done. Military, okay, that's another different question. Don't really need laser rifles. Ammo printer? That'd make us make more ammo, yes. Or could grab missiles. Missiles will allow us to get into things like high-speed rail quicker, so let's go missiles. Missiles, please. It's probably been a long time since we improved on the artillery. Let's improve on the artillery. So yeah, we got one big size, larger gun. We can go from patterned virus suits. I'm not going to do battle dress on the artillery. We will do heavy combat armor on the artillery.
Order received.
Yes, do what you can to mitigate that. Yes, do what you can to mitigate that.
Order
We'll just take a little bit
received.
of danger. Lime top, you want to take it from 2 to 3. It's got the size for it, so it just comes down to, do I want to risk the quality of life declining? It would still be above 50 if I take this change. So let's do it, and we can try to quickly queue up the buildings if the logistics will support it.
Roger that. Affirmative.
Alright, let's check up on our construction and see what is and isn't working. So Muncron finished its construction. Okay. So that gave it another 100 on education and security, bringing it up to about 250 across the board. So that should bring it above 50, so that's not the end of the world. If we wanted to start really pulling population from other places, we need to improve it more than that. But let's hold off on contemplating more in Muncron, because I believe this is actually our logistics hub, main logistics hub on the island. Which is maybe an issue, because I don't think I own the truck hub. I don't own the truck hub. There we go. Let's own that truck hub. And begin expanding that truck hub, please.
Yes.
Because that's what we're having problems with, if we come over here and look. Why this guy's not getting very many metal, is we're mainly reliant on that truck hub to supply the transport. Same thing here. We're also reliant on this truck hub, so let's grab this truck hub quickly. And tell it to upgrade as well. And same up here. Grab the truck hub. And order its expansion. Anyway, so no other expansion on this island for the moment. That's what we're going to do for the island. Voltmuth. Finally completed its Tier 1 support buildings. So we completed University, Hospital Vidcom, University, Hospital Vidcom, okay. And it's working in Barracks 2. I'm actually surprised its security is so low. Well, the security is low because we don't have enough workers for the barracks. Okay, so definitely don't build anything more here because we need it to hire up. The workers here are happy enough that they're increasing, which is important. If anything, we're probably better off once we can get those colonists through to send the colonists over than to queue more construction up. I think we got enough construction there. Okay, those are finished. Zolben finished its tier 1s, which, what, that was the barracks and the hospital. Okay, so it will probably want, again, another round of quality of life buildings. Right now it's basically sitting at 200 out of sort of desired 300 because it's a level 3 city. So this will get up to like 66 something. But anything right now I think that's above 50 is going to be good enough that we can focus on getting other places first. So Scylla, no delays, good to see. Minos, no delays, which is good to see. Moncrun, we just queued up the truck stop. Ripple Point, suffering from the delays from the metal being issued delivering up the island, because it's all going to the first city on the island, right? So the competition of the truck stations being owned by the government should help. It might not kick in until next year, though, so let's not worry too much about it. Capital. Solar panel field got delayed. Half a turn. Power plant hasn't been delayed. Deep core extractor got delayed again. Demilitarization didn't suffer a delay. Boltmouth is still working on barracks. Dionysus Ocean are still working on the barracks. But otherwise, everything else is going well. And I probably do want to slow down a little bit in construction. We are starting to burn through the industrial points we're getting in. And by slow down, I mean sort of try to keep to the same rate. Like that's acceptable burn. We want to burn at that rate. Workers here gained 700 workers, which brought you closer to the number of public jobs. Gained 600 workers, which brought you closer to the number of public jobs. So we'll see if this place gets 600 or 700 next turn. If it gets 700, it'll have all the public jobs at once. If it gets 600, it'll need one more turn. Otherwise, we basically have everything here, which is good to see. So that means the quality of life should be going up very rapidly here. Because I think we pretty much solved all this place's issues. So yeah, quality of life is going up. Workers diminished due to worker... Okay, so we had food delivery issues is what that's implying? Interesting. Okay, so we might just have so much being shipped out that our stuff needs more than can be delivered? Okay. It's a little worrisome if that's the case. That would be solved with storage. Do we have tech? We don't have physical storage. Don't really want to research physical storage, but we might have to do that on the next ecotech. We have situations like that occurring where we're seeing complaints about the workers buying food when our food stockpiles are full. That's what's going on there. We don't have enough stockpile to process and deliver food, which is not usually a problem that I have. Okay, let's look at our stuff. Don't think could do some private investments. Then mining. Everything's empty. The only thing that's at risk of becoming empty are not going to be expandable. So it's a mine level 1, but the mine level is 4, accessibility is 1. That's why a couple times I've been trying to extend this mine and being able to find it because the accessibility is 1. I remember earlier episodes where I was confused about that. Yeah, most of these... actually, Skillia might be worth... Yeah, let's hit Skillia and the other one with peripheral mining.
Affirmative.
Those oil reserves have a little bit of reserve left in them. I don't think it's necessarily going to completely deplete in one turn, but if we hit it before it depletes, then we won't have any dead turns. Okay, so in a couple turns, we shouldn't be completely eating the stockpile transporting metal, which is good to see. Maritime trading contracts. Which one did we lose? We did lose one. Oh, I remember which one. Okay, so we'll have to place a maritime transport contract available. Yes. To here. So Dahlia Bay, which is the one we've been doing most of our stuff with, has happened to gone ahead and conquer the one that controlled this zone. C zone. So we're gonna have to now establish a transport contract with them, and hopefully they have enough transport capacity to do the deliveries we want. It's not necessarily the end of the world. Most of the guys over here don't need to be fed. The aliens don't need to be fed. It is a little annoying. Oh, and I've let the turn go, or let the part go on too long. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I am going to record another part after going and checking up on the family. And we're going to go ahead and put this part break in as soon as this end turn ends. Kind of just seeing if anything interesting happens as the turn cycles. I suspect that the answer will probably be no. Most of the sea life has been dealt with. So most of what we're dealing with is basically human and or major. I have not restarted the air bridge over the Southern Strait. I actually stopped it due to petrol concerns. We were burning through the petrol real quickly doing that. And I wanted to stop buying petrol off the open market. Okay, this is where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in, so wish you all the best of luck and a good time until the next part. Till then, bye for now.